Hey there. This is my install and review of the Schlage, I believe, or the Schlage, however you pronounce that. The FE595 CAM 620 ACC programmable lockable keypad lock. Looks like this. So the keypad that lock looks like this. Apologize for any sound in the background. My son is watching movies. And I'm just going to lead you through the install as I do it. Step one is to install the latch. I am going with option 1 because my old door had a thing like that. Option 2 is this alternate cap type thing. I'm not even going to go there because I have no clue because I've never used that before in my life. So we're just going to screw that in. I'll show you where I screwed that in. We'll go to step 2. So all you do is just slide it in. It goes right through the hole, and I'm just replacing an old door handle with this new one. So for me it's pretty easy. If not, you're going to have to get a guide and drill the holes in the door. So if you're just replacing, that's pretty easy. So put it in, make sure the door, that part is facing towards the door jamb, so that when you close it, the longer side is towards you if you're on the inside. Just 2 screws, screw it in. Step 1 done. Step 2 is to install the strike. It comes with 2, at least in my box it did. So all you do is you put it in, and then you're going to put 2 screws in each hole, and that will put the strike on. Really simple, 2 screws are in, the strike is in. So the third step is to prepare the keypad, which means just taking off the sticker, which is right here, that yellow thing. We're going to take that off. Step 4 is to install the keypad, which we will do. Notice that has a handle on it. They didn't ask you to put handles on it yet, so don't worry about that. They just want to show you that there will be a handle. So we're going to put this part in through the hole and make sure the wire, this black wire, goes on the other side. Step 5 is to adjust the hands-free post, which is this little bolt right there on the back of it. Okay? And after you put in the door, you have to loosen it until it extends 1/8 of an inch to 1/4 of an inch beyond the door face. So I'm going to 1/8 of an inch for now, and I'll extend it to 1/4 if I have to. I did that before I installed it. And then you have to install the base plate, which is this black piece right here. You have to route the wire through the hole, which is this little square hole right there. Okay? Right here, this square hole. You have to route the wire through that. Snap the base plate onto the hands-free post. The hands-free post will hold the lock on the door. So that's why I didn't do anything yet until I read all those directions. So let's go do that. So remember that the keypad is going to go out to where you want people to come in from. For me, it's the garage. And if we go to the other side of this, you can see that the battery thing has to go underneath the inner workings of the latch. Okay? And I'm holding it with my hand right now until I get that base plate on. But just to let you know, there's a little place for it right here. A little indentation to get the wire up and through. It has to go underneath. Now as you can see, I got this little post thing right here. I measured it with a ruler, and it's out 1/8 of an inch. So that's what I want. That's the smallest thing they want it at. I'm doing it small so that way I know if it'll fit the door, it'll fit tightly. Just remember, you want to put the little cable through this little square hole there so it comes out, and that little post is what holds this thing on. So I know that's tight. There's not much there, but you can always extend it out with a screwdriver. As you can probably see, it has a little Phillips screwdriver head on it, and that should hold it. So I'm gonna actually have to extend it just a little bit more to hold it on. So by extending this out, it holds it against the door. And obviously you're going to screw it in too, which will also secure it, but you might have to take it out a little bit more after you put it on to make sure it holds on the door. Okay, step 7 is to connect the wire and the battery. So we're going to connect that wire to the door and then to the battery. And then we're going to place the battery in the holder and tuck the wires in, and they show you where to tuck it underneath the tab, so that way the wires stay where they're supposed to be. It also came with a Duracell 9-volt battery for you. I had an older version of this at my old house, and it had a lithium battery. So I don't know if you want to upgrade to lithium already. I'm just going to use what they have because I don't have any 9 volts in my new house. So this wire was tucked in on the side, where you're gonna tuck it in after. This is where the battery goes, obviously. But this little part right here in between has to go into that. And if we look at it, it has a little indentation. So that way you know you're doing it the right way. Because it can only go one way. So I'll put that in. It actually goes this way. And I'll put the battery in, and I'll show you the completed product. So as you can see, we plugged this in, and we tucked it in. That little middle part that I showed you just gets tucked in behind this box. Okay, and then the battery goes right down here, which is a really tight fit. The battery just sits here, and you should hear a beep like when you put that battery in. So just tuck everything in nice and neat. So that way there's no wires that can be snagged down by the door. Step 9 is really easy. You just gotta take the cover of the unit. Notice that has a handle. I bought mine online from a company. I don't think they gave me a retail packaging, because I remember the retail packaging was different. It doesn't matter, it's the same lock. But you're gonna do it with the lock up. You just gotta put 2 screws in, long screws that they give you. They give you actual size, which is cool, because you can measure it, and you're just gonna put it right in there. And we'll put the levers on after, because you have to know if you need to switch the levers or not. So it tells you what to do with all that. But first, we'll just install the cover. So you just install 2 screws, one here, one there. I left the lock this way. I don't think it really matters. I think it just lines up eventually. And we'll have to put the handles on next. But you notice that it's flush with the door? You tighten it down enough. That's why in the earlier step where we had that little screw there, we only put it out as much as we needed it to, because it would have held this out more. So, looks really good, just gotta put the handles on. So now we gotta put the levers on, only because mine didn't come on. Just make sure that the lever goes on the inside of the door, away from the door jamb. If you have it this way, the door will not close. And if you have to change them, you insert this pin wrench that they give you. So it's like this. Okay, but you insert the pin wrench into the hole on the side of the handle and push it and hold. Seeing that I have this way, I'm just gonna go to the next direction. It says pull the lever off after you do that, and then repeat steps A and B to remove the lever from the other side of the door. Switch the levers, and it should be fine. Seeing that they didn't put them on, I just have to push each lever back into place. I just have to push these on in the way that I want them. So, but if you ever did have to switch them, you could. So the handles just pop on. You just push them in. Notice that they're both pointing in towards the door, so that when I close it, there's no handle going this way. And just to test it, this is locked. If you turn this, it unlocks. And if you unlock it, both handles should go at the same time, which they do. So we're doing awesome there. So we know we installed the handles correctly. So your lock's going to come with a user guide, and on the top of the user guide, that way, I can't show you it, but it has your user codes, A and B. You need that to program this. So if anything ever happens to the lock, it defaults to these programming and user codes, I believe, so that you can still unlock the door. And then you can program it to numbers. It's a 4-digit number that you're going to use to open the door. So that way you don't need keys to open up the lock. So first we're going to test the lock to make sure that's working. So we're going to use user code A. Again, it's on that user guide. And then it should rotate and release the lever. And you want to make sure that the lock goes in when you put the code in. So, and then it gives you a bunch of checks to do that. So you're going to come over to your lock and you're going to enter the user A code, which for me, I'm going to turn the camera away for a second. We're going to enter in the 4 digits. And then this thing should be able to be retractable. But again, you want to make sure that this is locked. So make sure that this is locked as you go to the side with it. So that's locked. Okay, we know that because we can open it here, but it won't do anything there. See how the thing doesn't move? So I'm going to enter my 4-digit code, and it should move that thing when I try to open the door. Okay, you heard a little thing there, and it's working. So we are all set. Now, did you notice that after a while, it gives you about, I want to say 5 seconds. After that, it automatically locks on you. So you just have to enter in the code again, and it would unlock the door. And that's how this thing works. So you don't have to use the key. It does come with a key, or 2 sets of keys, if you need to open it manually. As far as the battery, a lot of people worry about the battery, but I can attest to at my last house, I think I installed mine in 2011, and the battery was still going strong when I sold the house. and it's 2016 now. I just sold it about 2 months ago. So that's why I'm selling this lock again at my new house, because I liked it that much, and it made it really convenient. Just for convenience, to let you know, if you have someone that's coming to your house, you can program their own code, and then you can delete it later on. Let's say that you forgot something, and someone has to go over your house to help you get it. You can, in my case, you can open up the garage door, have them come up here, and have a 4-digit code that's just for them. You have to program it in, obviously, but it will just be their code to get in your house. And the other thing is, people worry about fingerprints, because if someone's really up to it, they can put like talcum powder or something on there and get your fingerprints to show where you type the numbers. I mean, honestly, just put your fingerprints all over the numbers and you'll be fine, because then they won't tell. Just, be there for a while. I'll show you what happens when you enter a wrong code. It will just go red. It does that 3 times, I believe, and they'll lock it out, I believe, for 30 seconds to a minute. There's some type of time limit on it that'll lock out any other codes, so it won't let you do anything. So they could try all they want, and they might be here all day confusing your codes. So, but yeah, I like it. The other thing is, if you push the Schlage button, it lights it up. So if it's dark, you can actually light that up and see the numbers. So it's pretty cool. So to program your keypad, they have directions in here. Okay, I can't show you the part of this because that's my programming code in there. But it says adding codes. It says adding codes, enter programming code, which is the thing that's on the sticker on the front of this guide that I couldn't show you. Wait for 3 lights. Press the Schlage button. It'll turn blue. Press 1, wait for 3 orange lights and 3 beeps, and then enter your new user code. Wait for 3 orange lights and 3 beeps, and then enter the same user code, and then you program the user code. Just to show you that you can delete them too as well. Okay. And you could actually change the programming code. So if someone actually got a hold of your programming code somehow, you could, make a new one. And the last thing I want to make you aware of, if you make a mistake during the programming, press the Schlage button repeatedly until the keypad lights blue, then start over. So don't be afraid of trying to program this thing yourself. I've never used these things, even on my old lock, but they have vacation mode. So you can adapt it to that. When enabled, no user codes will unlock the door. So you can turn it off and prevent any unauthorized attempts of entry by doing that. You can enable or disable the beeper. The beep's not really that loud, but if you want to turn it off, you can. It'll still sound during programming. If you delete all your user codes, so if you want to do it all one shot, you want to sell this thing to someone else, you could delete all the user codes by putting that in. Okay. Again, you can change the programming code. So if you bought one used, you could do that. Removes all user codes from the lock. Okay. And enable or disable lock and leave keypad deadbolt. That has nothing to do with the lock I showed you, because that's for deadbolts. So that's it. It gives you sections to record your codes. If you have a new programming code, okay, and it says consider changing your codes on a prerequisite buttons where evenly. But again, just keep pushing all the buttons here and there. It's not a big thing. Mine didn't wipe off or anything in the 5 years I used it. The user codes are here, so you can keep a track of that. And that's pretty much it. Just has some troubleshooting, which I don't have to go through. And that's how the lock works. So that is it for installation. Just personal notes. I've, again, used this lock for like 5 years at my old house before I sold it. I did the same operation I'm doing now. I did it in the garage because it's easy to type in a 4-digit code rather than get keys out all the time. It does have keys that you can use. Let me try to get the keys out. So it comes with keys, okay, that you can put in your door. And again, it's a brand name, and it's lasted me a long time at my old house, so I hope to do the same here. Do I recommend this lock? I do. I would recommend this lock even for your front door or anything like that, because it is very secure. So, excellent way for people to rent properties too. You can set up a code, leave it, let the people, enter codes to enter the rental property, and then you just delete the code after they're done. So, and that's it. That's my review of the Schlage E595. It's a Camelot style. That's what it's called, Cam. 620, I believe, is the model number, and the ACC is the color I got it in. I got the antique pewter, but there are different colors that you can look at online. And yeah, it's a great lock.